Mr. Ellis James.
Good morning, John.
When did you first come up with that melody?
About 5 years ago, football songs. The chants of melodies really changed in the last 5 years. They're now largely John B based, which and that's a new thing. I'm not completely a fan. I've got to be honest.
What are the lyrics to?
It's just that.
So it's not like the EastEnders theme. There's not a version.
There's no doofs at the end.
No, but there's no like version with lyrics.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No, there isn't. No. Oh God, I'm excited now. I think I'm gonna. Oh God, I gotta go to the football match.
We should write some lyrics for it.
Yeah, I could.
I like my team, they are the best. Kicking the ball towards the net. You have to say nest.
It's just
like the goal is a nest.
Yeah, it just sounds camp and childlike when you do that.
Alright then.
Where's the alpha male-ness of that, John?
Stab up the opponent's keeping man. That will give us the upper hand.
Oh, that's quite good, actually.
Yeah.
Although, again...
to refer to the goalkeeper as the keeping man.
Yeah, again, there's sort of 80% there.
Alright, mate. I mean, I'm really Morrissey-ing it. I'm writing them quicker than I'm singing them.
Given a little bit of work, I think you could be onto something.
Tie your laces and kick the ball. Kick it hard through the wall. What about that?
Yes.
The wall is used in a free kick.
Yeah. Our defender is big and the striker is...
Yeah, not as easy as it looks, is it, mate?
How are you, John?
I'm okay. My girlfriend has been away for 4 weeks now. 3.5 weeks.
Project Solitude.
Yes. Project Solitude is in its final phase and is reaching the point at which she really needs to come back quite quickly. Last night I took her to Stington.
Oh, God. What do you mean? What's the conclusion of Project Solitude? That you're great on your own?
No, I watched 3 films.
Whoa. That's loads. I watched 2 minutes of them and then died and thought better of it.
Yeah, I wish I'd done that.
Well, what did you do instead?
I watched
you watched films. Which films?
I watched 45 Years.
Right.
Which was very good, but sort of quite sad.
Okay.
Then I watched Precious.
Right, okay.
Have you seen Precious?
No, I haven't, no.
I'm going to say, Ellis, it's tough going.
All right.
Okay, the networks are down, the equipment is ready, and we've crippled their supplies. Mrs. Rack...
Very tactical way of putting it, Vin. It's about literacy and the educational system in America.
Key stage 1. It's got Mariah Carey.
Yeah, but all of these things really do not paint a picture of what it's like.
I don't know what to think now. Okay.
It's about the struggle of...
I'm imagining some Sesame Street episode where Mariah Carey says 1 to 10.
It's not like
it's not that.
All right.
The struggle of a young black girl who comes from a very
impoverished background,
abusive household,
right, so.
And
she finds solace in numbers. Letters.
Sort of, but the difficult thing is your unintentional, your sort of fun glibness for people who know what Precious is. I should have started this.
No, okay,
this is on me.
I mean, I've heard of it.
You haven't heard of it?
No, but I can't.
Monique won best supporting actress.
Kid, mate. Right.
And so anyway, I found that so distressing.
You thought, time for another one, let's watch Schindler's List.
So I was meant to be bed after that.
Yeah.
But instead I needed to sort of rouse myself from a funk. So I watched The Terminal with Tom Hanks, about a guy who lives in an airport terminal for a year, and then I got obsessed with the idea of living in an airport.
like, was it Julian Assange did that? Or was it Edward Snowden? I can't remember.
No, it's based on the story of a guy who lived in Charles de Gaulle for 8 years.
Yeah. And I've been to Charles de Gaulle Airport, and the vending machines are rubbish, so if I had to live off that for...
Did you meet the man who lives there?
No, but I remember once I'd checked in, I'd...
Okay.
Bobbins Unleashed Mark II. Second week of me standing in for Ricky Wilson. Good show today, I thought, Neil. A few points of controversy. Still, I hit a wall after the Queen quiz, but I won't spoil the surprise. Remarkable.
Let's get on.
There. Had it been Ellis that had set those questions, there would be a tension in the room now. However, pub porn, second week of pub porn, and we had some listener submissions, which is phenomenal, and they really did get the vibe. However, following a number of listeners who tweeted and texted in who I don't think fully got textual healing and found that somewhat confusing / disturbing, we decided that we would read the list of submissions as a podcast treat because, to say they're niche is sort of doesn't really do justice to the word niche, but they're brilliant. So I'll read two of them. For those of you who maybe didn't listen to last week's show, pub porn is a sort of hobby I have where I write prose fiction based around ideal pub scenarios. And we've had two submissions, one from Ben Brown. The more sort of overwrought, the better. And I really like ones. Mine often start with some kind of weird negative that gets turned into a ludicrous positive. And that's certainly what Ben's done here. So there's quite a few people speaking in this, so I'll need to guide you through it. So we're in... he wrote it sat waiting for a connecting flight home from Kuala Lumpur. So imagine we're in an airport. Bing bong! Would Mr. and Mrs. Brown please come to the British Airways transfer counter? That's odd, Ben said to Lynn. Yeah, maybe we should go before you order that beer. Any excuse not to have to pay £7.50 for a pint of lager, and I'm not sure I want another ultra-cold, tasteless 5%er. I hope there hasn't been a mix-up with our flights. Hi, I'm Mr. Brown. I think you called us. Yes. Hello, Mr. and Mrs. Brown. I'm afraid there's been a mix-up with your flights. But there can't be. I've got to go home for my job. Why so urgent, Mr. Brown? Please, call me Brownie. Well, you see, I run a microbrewery specialising in what you might call session ales. I don't expect you to understand, but basically it's real ale at less than 4.5%. And we're finalists at the Camera Awards, and I have to apply the finishing touches to my finest brew yet. We employ a lot of people in the village. An ex-mining community in Nottinghamshire depends on its success. Sorry, Mr. Brown, did you say session ales? Yes, but you don't really have them in Kuala Lumpur. Mr. Brown, are you the Ben Brown that left his job selling boxes to set up a brewery who went on to win 3 Camera Platinum Awards? Wow, yeah, I can't believe you know the story. Yes, my brother lives in Runnington in Nottingham and told me it was the inspiration behind him staying in the UK. Hang on, is your brother Norm? Yes, wow. He works for you? Works with me, Ben corrected. We're all partners in the ale cooperative. Well, my brother would never forgive me if I didn't do something to help you. There is one thing that I couldn't ask you to. What? I'll do whatever I need to get back. Well, BA are launching a new service in business class. It's not quite ready yet, but maybe if you would consider a free upgrade, I could ask you as an expert to judge our new Best of British Drinks bar in the lounge. Only, my problem is that you will have to try all 8 of our potential beers, and the brewers, including Sharps, Adnams and Fullers, are really trying to win the contract, so they're offering all sorts of incentives for you when you get back, including free beer for you and your family. Okay, what's the catch?
Marcel tells me you're...
You have to have all 8. Fades to a picture of Ben and Lynn moving towards the business lounge with 4 hours to spare. Lovely stuff, Ben Brown, you mad idiot, in a lovely way. Sort of a scenario there where Ben is forced. It's always you're like forced to try 8 beers. Though I have to say, I don't like being drunk on planes. I mean, I often am, but it's not sort of really makes me feel all fuzzy. Anyway, so well done from Ben for that. The next one will be sent to me on Twitter. Now this one, I wanted to read the show, it's far too niche. And I was worried people might get
How's our
text. So, this is from on the old Twitter. So I'm just getting at me Twitter. This is from Jamie Robbins. He's got my name. Jamie, let's click on his onesie. A multimedia manager at Equinox Comms. Oh, Jamie, what's gone wrong, mate? No wonder you fantasise about pubs when you're a multimedia manager at Equinox Comms. Cardiff, Wales. Oh dear. What a life unravelling there. Are we co-Robinses? I'm going to click on your picture, see if there's any likeness. Oh, he's very distinguished. I think it's beautiful. He's got distinguished sort of grey hair. But he's young and firm. I think I've got that t-shirt. Anyway, Jamie, let me know your family tree. And thanks very much for sending in your pub form, which I'm now going to read out. Having just finished performing his 12th consecutive sold-out show, Robbins needed some refreshment. After making his way through thousands of fans, all thanking him in advance for his advice on deodorant and getting them into Bonnie Prince Billy, he eyed a quiet, dimly lit public house across the road. He entered to see a wide range of ales below 4.5%, and a barmaid who looked remarkably like his partner's model friend who got into trouble for cooking 7 months prior. He ordered his first golden ale with a crisp £20 note and held his hand to receive the change. But something felt wrong. Wait a minute, he said. These are all farthings? Yes, the barmaid replied. That's all I have, I'm afraid. I'm sorry. The copper 1861 doesn't have a denomination. I hope that's okay. That's fine, he said. Oh, cool. And a jukebox. Do you mind? Not at all, she replied. Unfortunately, it's stuck on cue. I hope that's not too much of a problem. It wasn't. Seconds later, The Night Comes Down was filling the room as Robbins made his way to a quiet corner. As soon as he started to drink, a man in his mid-30s approached. Excuse me, are you John Robbins? He inquired. Yes, he replied, mentally preparing himself to respond to yet another Are You On Email quip. John Captain's Darts Robbins, the man continued. How would you know? That night was amazing. You see, I was working behind the bar all the time. I tell my friends about it. I think I still have the CCTV footage here on my laptop if you give me a second. Oh, here it is. Let's drink rum and watch it on looping together until closing time. And that's the end of that one. Brilliant. Excellent. I love the idea that the barman would have the CCTV footage of me playing darts. Also, I'd have known the barman because it was a St. John bar. I would have known the barman. So, thank you very much, Jamie Robbins, with 1B as well. So I'm worried we're related. Oh, I'm not worried we're related. I'm interested. I haven't got a very big family. Always nice to broaden the net. So, there you go. A couple of pub forms. If you're... I sort of thought it was a sort of weird interest I just shared with a friend of mine, Robin, but glad to see it's typed into the zeitgeist. So I hope you enjoy the show. Just remains me to plug Ellis and Ice Geek one more time. Tickets go on pre-sale from Wednesday at 10 a.m. Kentish Town Forum, and Friday at 10 a.m. It's on general sale. So go to Kentish Town Forum website from then and check out ellisandjohn.com. Thanks very much, folks, and see you back next Saturday from 1 till 4, the new slot for me and Ellis. So those hangovers will have cleared somewhat, and I dare say you'll be settling down for a lovely Sunday roast. Bye!
So there is a Saturday?
Oh yeah, a Saturday roast.
John Robbins.
Jake Bug with Seen It All. You're listening to Radio X. It's Sunday morning. It's time for Robbins. That's right, folks. standing in for Ricky Wilson for the second week. It is I, John Robbins, and we've got a bumper-packed show for you this morning. We've got regular features, including the return of pub porn in the hours to come. We've also had some reader submissions for that, which is absolutely mind-blowing. We've got chat, we've got texts, and we've also got some absolute whoppers. I was walking into the studio this morning. David Mellor, as ever, was loitering by the bins. And he said, John, I hope you're playing some absolute bangers on Radio X. I said, yes, David, I am, as ever. He said, what have you got? I told him that I would start on his behalf with Nirvana. All apologies. This is for you, Mellor. Radio X. White lights there from Stereophonics. I dare say you may sense a touch of U2 about the guitars there. A little bit of the edge in there, but nice stuff from U2. From Stereophonics. That was not intentional. Apologies, Kelly Jones. That was not a dig at you specifically. Folks, it's part 2 of Robbins Unleashed on Radio X. As I stand in Mr. Ricky Wilson, his court case continues. There is light at the end of the tunnel. They've gone for a last-minute reprieve from his shoplifting charge. He has claimed that he attempted to pay and forgot the items were within the bag, which already contained other items which had a receipt. So it's confused, but he's got one of the best loophole lawyers on it. You can text on 83936 and tweet at Radio X. Let me know what you were up to last night, especially if you weren't out larging it for some reason. I was unable to large it last night. I had a gig in Sutton, and then I came back and I was distracted by a 24-hour Tesco's. There's nothing I love more than a massive 24-hour supermarket in the late at night. And I went in and browsed the booze section to calm me down, because Tesco's are currently having a drinks festival promotion. I walked up and down the aisles, comparing the boozes, and then just got some hot dog rolls, and went home and watched MasterChef with a hot dog that I put too many jalapenos on, which really made this morning difficult. I mean, I nearly missed my train.
Brain of John Robbins Radio.
Big tunes all day. That was Killing in the Name of by Rage Against the Machine. What a whopper. Absolutely massive. When I was at university, that was my friend Chris's favourite band, Rage Against the Machine. So over I DJ in the bar. No one asked me to, but the payment was a £10 bar tab, for which you could buy 3 bottles of wine and get £1 change. Messy. I used to play Killer in the Name of uncensored, because we didn't care for the rules at Oxford, and whenever that song came on, Chris would go A on the dance floor. We had a text in from Howard. He said, Killing in the Name of on Radio X is on a hangover is painful. Well, Howard, wait till you hear what Nick did last night. He's texted in. He says, John, all the way from Ireland, the night out for me, a stag weekend in Dublin, pint of Porterhouse Hothead, pint of Guinness, 500ml of Veltins, 2 pints of O'Hara's Irish craft beer, 2 times double Bombay Sapphire and tonic, 4 pints of Guinness, yes please, 6 hours sleep, no thanks, off to Jameson's distillery now, slamming Hammer Dublin legends. That's too much to drink, but also, Nick, too accurate an account of what you've drunk. Have you been like me and kept a little notebook on hand? Other people who weren't larging it last night, Gail texted him to say that she was on a lesbian date with a pole vaulter. Lovely stuff. Though surely if you're gay or a lesbian, then a date is just a date, unless you're sort of mixing it up. Who knows? Interesting semantic question. Don't want to get bogged down in that. And this from Emma. Spent the evening watching a show called Puppetry of the Penis. I consider myself to be pretty broad-minded, but but having seen a man mould his genitals into the shape of Kim Kardashian, I'm now not so sure. I once, in my younger days, opened for Puppetry of the Penis with a stand-up set, I hasten to add. And it's a remarkable experience, because I was at a sort of regional arts centre that the audience was 100% female, baying for puppetry. And I came out to try and do sort of 15 minutes of observational / anecdotal stand-up, and it was clear from the off that was not what they paid to see. Fun fact about puppetry of the penis, because it's franchised from 2 Australian guys that created it, whenever you see puppetry of the penis, the guys on stage will be getting about 200 quid. Oh. They'll be doing all sorts of shenanigans to sort of 1,000 people. So your heart goes out to them. Anyway, folks, it's time for Indie Landfill. Radio X. There we go. It's our catchy jingle. The sound of a waste removal lorry reversing, which if you live anywhere near me in Lewisham without double glazing, you will be familiar with on a weekly basis. And what's phenomenal is, no matter how often you hear it, it doesn't necessarily guarantee they've emptied your bins, as I've made clear to Lewisham Council on a number of occasions. Once, for 4 weeks we had to wait for our bins to be emptied. I had to use communal bins in the Lewisham town centre, which was demeaning. Walking down there with a bag full of rubbish next to the market, putting it in one of the big red communal bins. Honestly. Anyway, this is the feature where we resurrect indie bands from the landfill site if you feel they've been overlooked or wrongly ignored. Last week we did the Pipettes, and that was my choice. But this week we've had an email in from Thomas. Thomas says, "Hello. Any chance you can resurrect Glasgow's most miserable sons, one daughter, Glas Vegas, from the indie landfill? I'm pretty sure NME have never celebrated it and then dumped a band so quickly." Well, I would agree with you there. Glas Vegas' time in the sun was short-lived, not even enough to get a tan. But that said, I mean, look what's happened to the NME. Once probably the coolest thing on earth you could buy, and now litter. It's a waste of everybody's time. Advertising watches on the front. It's for anyone who grew up in the sort of 70s and 80s, mid 90s, and was a music fan. Every time you see someone handing out a copy of the NME, your just heart breaks in two, and a cold shiver goes down your spine. Anyway, Thomas, we'd be more than happy to get Glas Vegas off the landfill and onto the airwaves once more. Thomas said Geraldine was always my go-to track from them, and quite rightly so, as some internet research tells me it was nominated for Best International Song at the 2008 Swedish Music Awards. High praise indeed. So for you, Thomas, and all the fans of Glas Vegas out there, this is Geraldine.
John Robbins, Radio X.
Glas Vegas there, back with us for a fleeting moment as the sun's dying rays hit the far corner of the tip. I hope you enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that. It's an absolute tune. Also, what's really nice is that they sing with their accent, which I always sort of like. Even if I'm not 100% on the music, it's nice when you can get a taste of the Glaswegian there, like you do with Mogwai and Arab Strap.
John Robbins.
Radio X. Now it's time for one of the features from the show I do with Ellis on a Saturday. It's time for Humble Brag of the Week. Humble Brag, it's Humble Brag. Humble Brag of the Week. That's right, team. It's time to expose those awful, awful people who go on social media to boast about their life, but they disguise it as moans. You can send them in if you've got an Eater Saturday at radiox.co.uk, and we will of course keep you anonymous because often these I think everyone's got that person on their timeline on Facebook who it makes your skin crawl, but you cannot bring yourself to unfollow them or mute them because it's sort of addictive how much of an idiot they're being. I know I've got a couple, so if you've got one, do send us some screenshots. So first off, this is from Twitter. My Apple Watch isn't giving me the credit for all the exercise I've done today. So irritating. It's like I never did it. Come on, mate. So you got an Apple Watch and you're healthy. Great. I hope your Apple Watch explodes. I hate Apple Watches. I think people wear them like absolute tools. Anyway, but then everyone will have one in a year, won't they? out. This is from Facebook. At least it was only the Tesco finest Chateauneuf de Pape at £13 that disappeared from my wine rack last night. Not the £50 vintage version next to it. All right, mate, so you've got a child's understanding of wine. Everyone knows that Chateauneuf de Pape isn't actually worth the money. You get a decent £6 bottle of Taste the Difference, red. Primitivo del Salento, tastes like Ribena. It all tastes the same.
You calling for some wheels?
Anyway.
I'm Johnny on the spot. I'll hook you up.
But this is our humble bag of the week. This is from Facebook. And I think it might be the worst thing that's ever been written by the worst
coming at
person
you.
in the world. I'm going to have to remove a misogynist slur from it, so I'll simply say beep, I think, when I get to that bit. But this is a status. No one's asked him to write this. He just thought we'd chuck it out there. Living in Dubai is really getting to me at the moment. If I'm honest with myself, is a posh Surrey girl who went to Cheltenham Ladies College with a strong pedigree and a father with several million in the bank really too much to ask for? These northern riffraff really don't understand my high-class pompous banter. I know I deserve better being from a good background myself. For people not in the know, I did almost make it as a professional rugby player for Harlequins. I played centre midfield for Arsenal. And opened the bowling for Surrey. I'm a talented guy, to say the least. Anyway, vent over for the week. Surrey boy in the sandpit of dreams. Hashtag my Dubai. Hashtag blessed. Hashtag my life. Hashtag dubs. Hashtag go and jump off a cliff, mate. Who, A, you didn't play centre midfield for Arsenal, because that's quite easily fact-checkable. You also didn't open the bowling for Surrey. Again, quite easily fact-checkable. What you probably did is played a game for Arsenal under-12s. As part of some charity event. You then bowled for Surrey 3rd 11 and have gone on to become what I believe to be the worst person in the world. So stay in Dubai. It's where people like you, from what I found, tend to thrive. And I think Dubai should be cordoned off, and all of the British expats there who go online boasting and posting photos of themselves on golf courses should.
What you need, boss? Some wheels? I can bring them round.
From university projects. It's actually really, really nice. It just happens. Fine. Anyway, that was Humble Brag of the Week. Do keep them coming in, as I said. But right now, what are you having for breakfast? Is it pork and beans by Weezer?
John Robin.
It's on the way.
Stop crying your heart out by Oasis. This is Radio X. I'm John Robbins, standing in for Ricky Wilson. A lot of people texting and concerned for Ricky's welfare. Don't you worry, his captor's demands are very reasonable. In fact, some of the negotiators think they will be happy with some signed vinyl and a Wagamama's voucher. But anyway, God willing, he'll be back next week, safe and well. So folks, this morning I'd like to hear from you because while we were meeting before the show, Techno Whiz, what's your full title, Tom?
Lackey.
Lackey,
Yeah.
Techno Whiz Lackey. No, I don't want to call you a lackey. I want to give you a assistant producer.
Yeah, I'll go with that.
You can pop that on your CV now.
Yeah.
Tom hobbled in on a crutch with one of those big sort of plastic boots on and has picked up an injury. Tom, talk us through it.
Big skiing incident.
Big skiing.
Yeah. Was trying to pull off some kind of sick trick, probably.
What sort of sick trick was it?
Well, it was just a jump.
Right.
And it dropped away quicker behind the jump than I thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what do you do? Land awkwardly?
No, I landed fine, but then couldn't kind of support my weight.
Yeah.
And my head came down and hit the snow.
Oh!
Flipped over into the
Oh!
Yeah.
So you've broken your foot.
Leg.
You've broken your leg?
Yeah.
Oh, Chris.
I thought it was foot.
Yeah, I thought it was foot.
Leg.
Which bone and how? Tib, fib, or crack?
We're talking fib and small crack, no displacement.
Okay. Well, it sounds absolutely awful, and the first thing I said to Tom was that I have zero interest in skiing. It has never appealed to me, the idea of statistically definitely breaking a bone. I just do not get it. There's a comedian, a wonderful comedian from Canada called Craig Campbell, and his life is the opposite to my life. He goes fell running, he goes mountain climbing, he goes snowboarding, skiing, base jumping, base smashing. And I've never,
You need something, huh? One of your rides? Let me know.
In the dressing room, I've just seen him, like, laid down.
I'll bring it to
some
you.
kind of injury. But he's got that sort of confidence that means he doesn't. Whereas if I did any of that stuff, I would probably die on the ski lift somehow. The ski lift broke my soul off. But he's like, you want to jump off a mountain? Yeah, okay. Show me where the mountain is. I'll go there. Make sure there's an ambulance, air ambulance, because I'm probably going to break my face off. Again, I broke my face last week. It's just killing. But I just don't get that. So what I'd like to hear from you, text on 83936 or tweet at Radio X, is how do you have zero interest in? Like when you hear about your friends doing something, you think, I don't want to do that. It's silly. You'll get hurt. So let us know what you just cannot understand people's attraction to. Anything for you, Neil, that you just cannot see? For me, motorbikes. I went on my stepdad's motorbike when I was about 12. Absolutely terrifying. Zero interest in that. Because you'll never meet a motorbikeist who hasn't. You say, have you ever come off? And they're like, oh yeah, I've got 10 pins in my leg, but you know. You're like, no, not you know. Sit in your Skoda Fabio, 20 miles an hour. Zero risk of injury.
For me, I'd say the gym.
Really?
No, zero interest.
Zero interest in the gym?
And what annoys me is looking at I've got no training for something.
Yeah.
What are you training for? No, I'm just going to the gym. So you're not training. This is the terminology. Training. No, you're just going to the gym. You're not training for anything.
Well, I very much, like 2 years ago, I would have been absolutely, completely agreeing with you there. However, I put on quite a lot of weight in quite a short amount of time. So I sort of dabbled with the gym. I haven't been for about 6 months. But I think you're lucky because you're tall. You're 6'2"?
6'2", 6'3", but yeah, I'm starting to pack it on a little bit.
No, you're not. You're spin as a rake, mate. Whereas I'm 6 foot, but all of my extra weight, I'm quite lucky in the fact that you wouldn't know from looking at me that I'm slightly overweight, but it's all concentrated in one of the most abhorrent beer bellies you've ever seen in your life. But my legs, arms, face and neck are those of a thin man, whereas my belly is those of sort of a 20-year camera member. So anyway, let us know, 83936 and tweet at Radio X, what you have zero interest in and why.
Radio X. John Robbins, Radio X.
That was sound checked by Catfish and the Bottleman. You're listening to Radio X. I'm John Robbins, sitting in for Ricky Wilson. And we've been asking you, what things do you have zero interest in? Because our assistant producer Tom broke his leg while skiing, and I have zero interest in skiing. We've had some great responses. Absolutely no interest in pesto. I don't get the attraction. It tastes and smells like the worst end of a dying cat. That's from Stuart in Walton, avoiding pesto and folk that indulge in pesto. Well, Stuart, I have to say, I'm sort of ambivalent when it comes to pesto. I would use it as a last chance saloon to mix with pasta, perhaps in a post-apocalyptic scenario. But I do agree that too much pesto, it can be very overpowering. This is from Liam. I have zero interest in soap operas. Never ever understood the concept of them. Committing yourself to a lifetime of mediocre acting. Awful business. From Liam in Sheffield. I sort of agree with you there, Liam. I watched soap operas when I was a kid, like Neighbours and Home and Away. But I just think, I mean, why would you want to watch people being in a pub when you can be in an actual pub? And they don't drink alcohol. The extras, they have to drink alcohol-free Becks. Imagine that. Though, if that's what you need to overcome your demons, then Godspeed. I agree with this from Sonia, or Soniana. I'm guessing it's Soniana unless you spelled her own name wrong. Soniana. Anyway, hi, for me, it's Tough Mudder. No interest. A few of my friends have been trying to get me to do it. No. Love the show, guys. I couldn't agree with you more. Why on earth? A, it's not a proper army test. It's just that you get photos of people that are all muddy, and they're like, oh, I did a Tough Mudder. And you're like, well, just stay at home, mate. Just go for a nice walk. Go for a walk in the woods, or go to a bushcraft course, as I am doing in May. This from Hadders. One of my best mates keeps inviting me to go Atlantic windsurfing. Never, ever. And he's fully aware that I don't like things that are gusty. I really feel for you there, because my least favourite type of weather is wind, because you cannot shelter from it. It's true. Shelter from rain, shelter from snow, shelter from lightning. You cannot shelter from wind. Anyway, it's the silent killer, sometimes not so silent. What an absolute tune here on Radio X. As ever, we've been asking you what things you have a zero interest in, because our assistant producer Tom has broken his leg skiing and I have zero interest in skiing. Some great responses here. This from Anonymous, you'll see why. I've no interest in collecting cats. They don't love you unconditionally and will eat your body when you inevitably die alone. If you're listening to this, Rhiannon, that is why I left you. Yes, from Dean. Football, zero interest from about age 14. I'm 34 now, still no interest. Whilst I am a football fan, Dean, I can understand...
Okay, tune in, cuz I'm about to blow your freaking mind with nothing but an idea. Home delivery.
However, what I don't understand is people who have zero interest in sports. It's like free drama. It's like, imagine a film was real and it lasts for a year, every year. So that I mean, Ronnie O'Sullivan's making his Crucible first appearance in the Crucible in the first episode. Very exciting. Snooker, zero interest in snooker. Shut your face! Come on, it's not a sport. Come on, Ronnie! Come on, you've got to have a more than zero interest in Ronnie O'Sullivan. Everyone has more than zero interest in Ronnie O'Sullivan. Yeah, I do. The greatest sportsman since Steven Gerrard and Ed Senna. That's my hammer. Imagine that meeting with all of those. Gerrard, Senna, O'Sullivan, Ali. I think O'Sullivan would come out with the least wise sayings out there.
That is an episode of Come Die With Me that needs to happen.
Oh, yes, please. Ronnie would probably be the best cook, because he's really into his healthy food and tweeting photos of a guy who's ripped him off. Doesn't do that too much. Anyway, that's coming. This is from Craig and Bexley Heath. No interest in getting married and having kids. Lovely stuff. Good luck having that conversation, mate. Radio X. And now it's time for textual healing.
I told her that I was in Bending Like Beckham.
I have a doll house in my bedroom.
I think I've just drank some wood.
Textual. There he is there, the voice of Little Ellis James. Not with us today, but this is a feature from our Saturday show where we solve the problems of a listener, and on the line we have a troubled listener. Hello, are you there?
Hello, yes.
Hello, mate, what's your name?
Hello, my name's John.
Oh, I believe you.
Long time listener.
Good to have you back on, John.
I've called in a few times through the show.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Wonderful show.
Oh, that's very kind. I'm sorry to hear that you've got another problem.
I had to laugh this morning. The alarm goes off. Ring, ring.
Yeah.
And your voice came on, and I thought, it's not Saturday. And I leant over to, well, it's a single bed, so I just leant over.
Yeah.
And I rummaged around under the bed for the shoebox, and I pulled out the Radio Times, and lo and behold, you're on Sunday, and I laughed.
Yeah.
I can't say fairer than that. The show made me laugh.
Oh, that's very good.
Quick question. What do pandas eat? Just to clear something up, a bet and what do pandas eat?
Bamboo.
Oh, okay. Oh, right.
What was your answer to that?
Beg your pardon?
What was your answer to that?
Well, that doesn't matter, does it?
Fair enough. But you've lost the bet.
Big time. I did not say bamboo.
What? Right.
Sorry, do you have a question?
No, was that your problem? What's a fantasy?
No, that's not the problem. I just had a small bit on the side.
Oh, I see.
You know how it is. You sat with your mate, you got 220p.
Yeah.
You have a little bit.
You do.
No, my problem, John, if I can be bold with you,
You can, mate.
is I went home last Sunday.
Yeah.
I got on the 249 from Balham and stopped off at the Tiverton running track and 10-minute saunter up the road.
Yeah.
I knocked on the door, my mother answered it.
Right.
In a walk, and she's got a picture of my brother
Yeah.
and a picture of my other brother,
Right.
and in the middle, she says that's me,
Right.
and I'm looking at it, and it's not me.
Are you sure?
It's not me.
Who is it?
Well, it's not me. So I'm looking at this picture, and I'm like, well, so hang about. So she's going, isn't that a lovely picture of you and your brothers? And I'm like, well, I can only see my brothers with another man.
Right.
So I'm just wondering if you know who it is.
I can't say I do. I mean, is it a famous person, do you think? Or is it some random?
He's 6'6".
Right.
Do you want me to describe him for you?
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, he's 6'6".
Yeah.
Bald.
It's not Duncan Goodhue, is it?
Yes, it is.
Got it in
I had
none.
that on the tip of. I had it on the tip of my tongue.
So maybe it was just
I
when
had it on the tip of my tongue.
maybe they went to a sort of a charity school swimming event and had a photo taken with
But why is
Goodhue.
she saying it's me?
Well, she's
Why is she
obviously
saying it's me?
she's become confused, hasn't she? Maybe
I've been
Duncan
compared with some. Go on.
maybe Duncan to her is a son. This is sort of son figure.
I've never met. Have you met him?
Yes, actually, he came to my school.
What are you talking about?
Duncan Goodhue came to my school.
Do you want to clear that up?
Well, to sort of promote swimming.
What else? Who was it?
Yeah, that's what I
I don't know why
said.
there's a picture of him in my house with my brothers, and she's saying it's me.
Well, what
I
I think you should do, John, is you've got to get her for her next birthday or Christmas, whatever next event is, get her a lovely photo of you with maybe a couple of other swimmers, Rebecca Adlington, and perhaps another one. I only know 2 swimmers by name, but I would suggest.
I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to hire out a swimming pool.
Yeah.
I'm going to then fill it with 50 to 60 otters. I'm then going to jump in that pool. I'm then going to get someone to have a Polaroid, and I'm not even going to face the camera.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
I'm then gonna get it. I'm then gonna lie it down on the kitchen table. I'm gonna dab it with tea bags like it's really old,
Yeah.
right? And then I'm gonna get it nice and framed.
Oh, nice and framed.
And then I'm gonna just hang it on the wall, and I'm not gonna tell her that it's there. And then
Nice.
Christmas time, I'm gonna go around and I'm gonna be like, "What the hell's that there?" And she'll look at it and she'll be like, "It looks like a bloke in a pool full of otters. What the hell's this?" And I'll go, "No, that is me and you." And then she's gonna be like, what are you talking about, mate?" And I'll be like, "Look, can we all just calm down? It's a picture of me and my brothers with Duncan over there. There's a picture of me with some otters over there. Can we all just gather around the Christmas tree and just, really, for this moment, we don't get together enough, just be lucky for who we have and for what we've got. Because there are people in this world that don't have what we have.
Perfect, John. That's an excellent. You've provided your own problem there, and that's what we really want to do in this feature: is provide people with their own way through their troubles. Thank you very much for calling. Right now, we've got brand new music from Lainey with "Where the Hell Are My Friends?"
John Robbins.
Radio X. It's "Where the Hell Are My Friends" by Lainey. It's one of those sort of song titles that really changes mood depending on how you say it. In the way he says one moving, "Where the hell are my friends?" But also, you could say you're at a festival, you're all sort of walking around, you get chatting to a lady at the bar, suddenly you turn around, where the hell are my friends? Where are they gone? My phone's died, I've got no signal, what am I going to do now? Can't leave by the big flag. What is 100 big flags? Anyway, coming up, we've got more music from Arctic Monkeys and Muse, and also the second instalment of now regular feature Pub Porn, and we've got a lovely voiceover from the breathy lady for it, so stay tuned for that.
John Robbins.
That was Knights of Sidonia by Muse. You're listening to, is that how it's pronounced, Neil?